better get this fixed, what it needs. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives the Jones Boys great pleasure to make welcome right now, with all of your help, the father of Jones Country and the greatest singer of all times. Ladies and gentlemen, the living legend, George Jones. What is it, son? Number 2, son. Number 1. Due to circumstances beyond our control, he will not be here today. Oh, Daddy won't be here today. But so we're going to let you, let the Jones Boys entertain for you a little more. April Fools! Here he is, folks, George Jones! How y'all doing? All right, I tell you one thing, we're going to have a great time at Jones Country this evening. And I want to say welcome to every one of you, because we got the immortal, the greatest, I think, that ever been in the business, Johnny Cash and his group still yet to come. And we're going to have a good time this evening. Here's Merle Haggard. Here's Merle Haggard. Hey, George, did you know where the Aaron Willie are around now? I didn't know it. I didn't know it. Did you know Roger is the king of the road? Everyone knows how he's been in prison. We know that. Dolly's got too big a reason that she's well known. They call me no show. They call me no show. Seldom ever wrong. Seldom ever wrong. Stage singing my song, but we're about to run on. They call me no show Jones. They call me no show Jones. Is a coal miner's daughter. Johnny wears black and stands on up. Ooh, that's lonesome. Everyone knows Kenny is the gambler. How about Tammy? Tammy's got some kind of a excuse. She divorced George Jones. They call me no show Jones. They call me no show Jones. I'm seldom ever wrong. Seldom ever wrong. Stage is singing my song, but we're about to run on. They call me no show Jones. They call me no show Jones. They call me no show Jones. Call him no show Jones. Seldom ever wrong. On one stage is singing my song, but we're about to run on. They call him no show Jones. They call me no show Jones. Say, Joe, what is it, or what is it? Somebody told us he wasn't going to show up today. Well, I heard Johnny Cash wasn't going to show up, but if we're here, I don't think it's going to be all right. We're going to have a good time. Are y'all still with us? Ain't no telling what's going to happen right now. I tell you what, I don't want to impose on this fellow or mess up his show, because he's got a great show, as you're going to notice a little bit later on this afternoon. But I got to bring him out one time, because if he'll come out, I don't even know if he'll come out. But we done a song together that you haven't heard yet. Well, you haven't heard us do it. You've heard him do it. And we just recently recorded a couple of his recordings, his writings. And I don't know it, but I'm going to stand out here and have a ball while I'm trying to make up some words. But we want to give you just a preview real fast of the one and only Johnny Cash. Let's give him a big hand. He's my boy. He's not around? Well, he's probably out there with shoes somewhere. Here he is. Yeah, Johnny Cash. Y'all didn't think he's going to show up, did you? Now, this is only a little preview. I don't want to mess his show up, because he's got a full show and a great show. But I just had to do this, Johnny, because I didn't know what else I was going to do. Give me a piece. All right. On Monday, I was arrested. On Tuesday, they locked me in the jail.
Oh boy. On a Wednesday, my trial was attested. On a Thursday, they said guilty, and the judge's gavel fell. I got stripes around my shoulders. I got chains around my feet. I got stripes around my shoulders. And those chains are about to drag me down. On a Monday, my mama come to see me. Oh boy. On a Tuesday, they caught me with a file. On a Wednesday, I'm down in solitary. On a Thursday, Lord, I start on bread and water for a while. I got stripes around my shoulders. I got chains around my feet. I got stripes around my shoulders. And them chains, they're about to drag me down. Go to E. On a Monday, I got my striped breeches. On a Tuesday, I got my ball and chain. On a Wednesday, I'm a-working digging ditches. On a Thursday, George, I beg them not to knock me down again. I got stripes around my shoulders. I got chains around my feet. I got stripes around my shoulders. And them chains, they're about to drag us down.
Come on, you can do better than that. That's a great legend. Johnny Cash. He'll be back in a few minutes to do your whole entire brand new show. I guarantee you. I hate to do that, but I just had to do it. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I got bigger.
Start the music.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's all get together and give them a great big welcome, ladies. Johnny Cash show band. That's what they say. Hey! Johnny Cash, Jude Carter and the Johnny Cash band.
Is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. Went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring taste of love is sweet. When hearts like ours meet, I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the fire was wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. Went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. Good afternoon. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps a-rollin' down the San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry. There's rich folks eating in a fancy dining car. They're probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. Well, I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free. But those people keep moving, and that's what tortures me. Do it again. From this prison, if that railroad train was mine, then I'd move it on a little farther down the line. Far from Folsom prison, that's where I want to stay. And I'd let that lonesome whistle blow the blues away. It's great to be with my pal George Jones down here today. George asked me about 6 months ago if June and I would come down and do the opening show at Jones Country. And I told him we would. I don't know if he believed us or not, but I think he believed it today when we came up. It's good to see you, and thanks for sticking by us. June and I have had kind of a hard year, but it looks great this year, and we really look forward to a year of playing all the shows all over the country for all of our friends. It's good to see some old friends that we made many years ago down here in Vidor. I went to Vidor the first time in 1957. One time I went down to play an opening for George Jones' Restaurant, a homecoming show for George it was. George didn't show up that day, but June and I had a really nice time. I was about 61, 62. And then we went back for another homecoming. He did show up, and of course he's here today. It's always good to see George and all of our friends. Saw an old buddy, Benny Barnes, here today, too. Benny Barnes, a friend I made back in 1955. Remember Benny Barnes' song? Were you ever in a tavern where the pretty girls were found, and you sit around a drinking cherry wine? If you start to hoot and holler when you're down to your last dollar, let me tell you, friends, it ain't no fault of mine. No fault of mine. No fault of mine. I've been home where I belong. We're doing fine. No fault of mine. No fault of mine. Well, you should never have turned out to be that kind. Missing our lead guitar player, Bob Wooten. Filling in for Bob Wooten on lead guitar is Marty Stewart. And out of the Jones boys, we have plucked him up and put him in black. Thanks to Clyde for helping us out, buddy. Well, I woke up Sunday morning with no way to hold my head. That didn't hurt. And the beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert. Then I fumbled in my closet, through my clothes, and found my cleanest dirty shirt. Then I washed my face and combed my hair, stumbled down the stairs to meet the day. I smoked my mind the night before with cigarettes and songs that I'd been picking. But I lit my first and watched a small boy listen at a can that he'd been kicking. I crossed the empty street, caught the Sunday smell of someone frying chicken. And it took me back to something that I lost somewhere, somehow along the way. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, oh, I'm wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. 'Cause there's something in a Sunday that makes the body feel alone. And there ain't nothing short of dying half as lonesome as the sound of a sleeping city sidewalk. Sunday morning coming down. In the park I saw a daddy with a laughing little girl that he was swinging. And I stopped beside Sunday school, listened to the songs that they were singing. I headed down the road, somewhere far away a lonely bell was ringing. And it echoed through the canyon like a disappearing dream of yesterday. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, I'm wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. 'Cause there's something in a Sunday that makes the body feel alone. There ain't nothing short of dying half as lonesome as the sound of a sleeping city sidewalk. Sunday morning coming down. first concert tour since last November, and it's really great. Feels good to be back out. A lot of happened to June and I, as I've said, over the last year. But by the grace of God, we're here. I want to do this song for my friend Nolan Wiley, who's with us today. Nolan, his wife Nell. Find me, Lord. What have I ever done to deserve even one of the blessings I've known? Why me, Lord? What did I ever do that was worth love from you and the kindness you've shown? Lord, help me, Jesus, I've wasted it. So help me, Jesus, I know what I am. Now that I know that I've needed you, so help me, Jesus, my soul's in your hands. Try me, Lord, if you think there's a way that I can repay what I've taken from you. Maybe, Lord, I can show someone else what I've been through myself on my way back to you. Lord, help me, Jesus, I've wasted it. So help me, Jesus, I know what I am. Now that I know that I've needed you, so help me, Jesus, my soul's in your hands. Jesus, thy soul's in your hands. One day at a time, Nolan. Well, I left Kentucky back in '49. I was in Detroit working on a assembly line. The first year they had me putting wheels on Cadillacs. Every day I'd watch them beauties roll by, and sometimes I'd hang my head and cry. Always wanted me one that was long and black. Well, one day I devised myself a plan that should be the envy of most any man. I sneak it out of there in a lunchbox in my hand. Now getting caught meant getting fired, but I figured I'd have it all by the time I retired. Have me a car worth at least $100 grand. I'd get it one piece at a time, and it would cost me a dime. You'll know it's me when I come to your town. I'm gonna ride around in style, gonna drive everybody wild, 'cause I'll have the only one there is around. Well, the very next day when I checked in with my big lunchbox and help from my friends, I left that day with a lunchbox full of years. I never considered myself a thief, but GM wouldn't miss just one little piece, especially if I strung it out over several years. Well, the first day I got me a fuel pump, the next day I got me an engine and a trunk, then I got me a transmission and all of the chrome. The little things I could get in my big lunchbox, like nuts and bolts and all four shocks, big stuff I snuck out in my buddy's mobile home. Well, now, up to now, my plan went all right till we tried to put it all together one night, and that's when I noticed that something was definitely wrong. The transmission was a 53, and the motor turned out to be a 73. When we tried to put in the bolts, all the holes were gone. So we drilled it out so that it would fit, and with a little bit of help from an adapter kit, had that engine running just like a song. The headlights was another sight. We had two on the left and one on the right. But when we pulled out see all three of them come on. Now the back end looked kind of funny too, so we put it together, and when we got through, that's when I noticed that we only had one tail fish. About that time, my wife walked out, and I could see in her eyes that she had a doubt. But I said, "Come on, honey, I want to show you my car and take you for a spin." So we went uptown just to get the tags, and I headed to ride on down Main Drag. You could hear everybody laughing for blocks around. But up there at the courthouse, they didn't laugh, cause to type it up, it took the whole staff, and when they got through, the title weighed 60 pounds. I got it one piece at a time, and it didn't cost me a dime. You'll know it's me when I come to your town. I'm gonna ride around in style, gonna drive everybody wild, cause I have the only one there is around. Yeah, Red Rider, this is the Cottonmouth in the Psycho Billy Cadillac promote. No, you see, I went up to the factory to pick that up cheaper that way. Well, Mom listened, well, that's what the Highway Patrolman asked me, and I said, it's the only car in the United States that is registered 1949 through 1973. It's a 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. We have a new album that was released last fall. I'd like to do a song from the new album. June Carter will be out in a few minutes, my favorite entertainer in the whole world. This is a story song, a very good story at that, about a highway patrolman. It's called Highway Patrolman. Get my guitar up. Get that magic thumb on that guitar. My name is Joe Roberts. I work for the state. I'm a sergeant out in Perrinville, barracks number 8. I've always done an honest job, honest as I could. Got a brother named Frankie. Frankie ain't no good. Well, ever since we was young kids, it's been the same come down. I'd get a call on the shortwave, Frankie's in trouble downtown. But if it was any other man, I'd put him straight away. But sometimes when it's your brother, you look the other way. Yeah, me and Frankie laughing and drinking, nothing feels better than blood on blood. Taking turns dancing with Maria while the band played the night of the Johnstown flood. I catch him when he's straying, like any brother should. Man turns his back on his family, he ain't no good. Frankie went into the army back in 1965. I got a farm deferment, settled down, took Maria for my wife. But them wheat prices kept on dropping, till it was like we was getting robbed. Frankie came home in 68, me, I took this job. Yeah, me and Frankie laughing and drinking, nothing feels better than blood on blood. Taking turns dancing with Maria while the band played the night of the Johnstown flood. I catch him when he's straying, teach him how to walk that line. Man turns his back on his family, ain't no friend of mine. The night was like any other. I got a call about 8:45. There was trouble at a roadhouse out on the Michigan line. There was a kid on the floor looking bad, bleeding hard from his head. There was a girl crying at a table. It was Frankie, she said. Well, I went out and I jumped in my car. Then I hit the lights. I must have done about 110 through Michigan County that night. It was down by the crossroads, out round Willow Bank. I seen a Buick with Ohio plates. Behind the wheel was Frank. Well, I chased him through them county roads till the sign said Canadian Motor 5 miles from here. Pulled over to the side of the highway, watched the taillights disappear. Yeah, me and Frankie laughing and drinking, nothing feels better than blood on blood. Taking turns dancing with Maria while the band played the night of the Johnstown flood. I catch him when he's straying, like any brother should. Man turns his back on his family, he ain't no good. Their eyes were blurred, their shirts all soaked with sweat. He's riding hard to catch that herd, but he ain't caught 'em yet. 'Cause they've got to ride forever on that range up in the sky, on horses north and fire. As they ride on, hear their cry. As the riders loped on by him, he heard one call his name. If you want to save your soul from hell, riding on our range, cowboy, change your ways today, I wish you will ride. Trying to catch the devil's herd across these endless skies. Yippee-yi-oh, oh yippee-yi-yay. Those riders in the sky. Those riders in the my guitar player, Bob Wooten. Marty Stewart is doing a wonderful job standing in for Bob Wooten. Hadn't missed a lick yet, so that's good. Bob Wooten had to go home. His wife was having a baby yesterday. I don't know if she had a baby yet or not. Well, she was going to. Said it was time, so she probably did. She knew. Sure she knew. You know, every time I'm in Texas, I like to sing a Texas song. Used to be, especially around South Texas, this was the Texas national anthem. Excuse me, Earl. 180 were challenged by Travis to die by the line that he drew with his sword when the battle was nigh. Any man that would fight to the death cross over, but him that would live better fly. And over the line went 179. Hey, Santa Ana, we're killing your soldiers below, that men wherever they go will remember the Alamo. Boy lay dying, but his powder was ready and dry. Flat on his back, boy killed him a few in reply. And young Davy Crockett was singing and laughing with gallantry fierce in his eyes. For God and for freedom, a man more than willing to die. Hey, Santa Ana, we're killing your soldiers below, that men wherever they go will remember the Alamo. Then they sent a young scout from the battlements bloody and loud, with words of farewell from a garrison valiant and proud. Grieve not, little darling, my dying, if Texas is sovereign and free, we'll never surrender and ever with liberty be. Hey, Santa Ana, we're killing your soldiers below, that men wherever they go will remember the Alamo. W.S. Holland on the snare drum, been with me 26 years. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I find it very, very easy to be true. I find myself alone when each day's through. Yes, I'll admit that I'm a fool for you. Because you're mine, I walk the line. As sure as night is dark and day is light, I keep you on my mind both day and night. And happiness I've known proves that it's right. Because you're mine, I walk the line. You've got a way to keep me on your side. You give me cause for love that I can't hide. For you I know I'd even try to turn the tide. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Because you're mine, I walk the line. We came on, we had a request for this song. I've got a couple more here, and then we're going to bring out the star of the show. June Carter is all ready. Yes, ma'am. I found him by the railroad track this morning. I could see that he was nearly dead. I knelt down beside him and I listened just to hear the words the dying fellow said. He said, they let me out of prison out in Frisco. For 10 long years I paid for what I'd done. I was trying to get back to Louisiana to see my Rose and get to know my son. Give my love to Rose, please won't you, mister? Take her all my money, tell her buy some pretty clothes. Tell my boy that daddy's so proud of him. And don't forget to give my love to Rose. Won't you tell him I said thanks for waiting for me? Tell my boy to help his mom at home. Tell my Rose to try to find another, 'cause it ain't right that she should live alone. He said, mister, here's the bag with all my money. It won't last them long the way it goes. God bless you for finding me this morning. Now don't forget to give my love to Rose. Give my love to Rose, please won't you, mister? Take her all my money, tell her buy some pretty clothes. Tell my boy that daddy's so proud of him. And don't forget to give my love to Rose. Ladies and gentlemen, my favorite entertainer, my singing partner, my sweetheart and my wife. Please make welcome June Carter Cass. If I were a carpenter and you were a lady, would you marry me anyway? Would you have my baby?
If you were a carpenter and I were a lady, I'd marry you anyway. I'd have your baby.
Sing it up through loneliness, sing it up through sorrow. Gave you my loneliness, give me your tomorrow. If I were a miller at a mill wheel grinding, would you miss your sparkling dress and your soft shoes shining?
If you were a miller at a mill wheel grinding, I'll miss my sparkling dress, all the soft shoes shining.
Sing it up through loneliness, sing it up through sorrow. Gave you my loneliness, give me your tomorrow. If a tinker was my trade, would I still find you?
I'd be carrying the pots you made, following behind you.
If I worked my hands in wood, would you still love me?
I'd answer you, yes I would.
Won't you not be above me? Singing up through loneliness, singing up through sorrow. Gave you my openness, give me your tomorrow. We got married in a fever, under the first crowd. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out. I'm going to Jackson, I'm gonna mess around. Honey, I'm going to Jackson, look out Jackson Town.
Well, go on down to Jackson. Yeah, go ahead and wreck your hell. Go play your hand, you big talking man. Go make a big fool of yourself. Yeah, go to Jackson. Ooh, comb your hair.
Oh, honey, I'm gonna snowball Jackson.
See if I
Well, when I freeze into that city, people gonna scrape and bow. All them women gonna make me teach them what they don't know how. I'm going to Jackson. You turn loose in my coat. My coat. Honey, I'm going to Jackson.
goodbye, that's all. There's that statue in Jackson. Now it ain't no pony. Put it around town like a story. You big talking man.
Oh, you big talking man.
Body with Jackson. Yeah, my Jackson.
Well, now we got married in a fever. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out. I'm going to Jackson,
And that's
come back. Yeah, we're going to Jackson. Ain't never coming back. Well, pity we got married.
Thank you so very much. I'm really thrilled to be down here in this part of Texas. I haven't had an opportunity to get to see you folks in a long time, and maybe I've never met some of you. I'm just kind of a country girl myself, and there's not much to me that, well, I'll just tell you a little bit about me. I've been married to Johnny Cash over 16 years now, and when I married him, I had 2 daughters, and he had 4 daughters, and then we had 6 daughters there together, and then we had this little boy, and that gave us 7. I'm tired. I used to be part of a singing group called the Carter Family before I ever married Johnny Cash, and I sung with Mother Mabel. Oh, thank you. I thank you that you remembered. And sometimes I sing Carter Family songs. Don't y'all go home. I just got started. Well, I tell you what I'd like to do. I'd like to sing you maybe a few of the old Carter Family songs. You may have heard some of them. You may never have heard any of them. I couldn't care less. I'm going to sing some of them I like anyhow. Here's one of them. From the great Atlantic Ocean to the wide Pacific shore, from Greenland's icy mountains to Southland by the shore. From Tennessee, boys, she's long and she's tall. She came down from Birmingham on a Wabash cannonball. Yeah, it was up to the jingle, head rumble, let me roll. Flies along with the land, or losing by the shore. With a mighty rush of the engine, you go so hard as you want. of the engine in lonesome hobo squall. She's traveling through jungle on the Wabash cannonball. Now Daddy Claxton is named forever spread and always be remembered, of course, throughout the land. When the earth races over, it hurts round and falls. But we're bringing on to Dixie on that Wabash cannonball. Yeah, the platoons in the head rumble and they're rolling. This drives along the woodland or the by the shore. To the mad rush of the engine, it runs some hobo squall. She's traveling through the jungle on the Wabash cannonball. She's traveling through the jungle on the Wabash cannonball. I brought my auto harp. This is the first thing I ever learned to play. And actually, I'm part of Texas girl. You didn't know that, but it's true. I was raised in southwestern Virginia, and when I was a little girl, I came to Texas with my mother and my aunt and uncle, the old original Carter family. The first time I was ever on radio, we came to Texas, and I left the mountains in Virginia, and my mother taught me to play this one day, and I came out here, and she yanked me up and took me across the border into Mexico, and there we used to have two 500,000-watt transmitters at a place called Del Rio, Texas. And we played really late at night from the time I was a tiny little girl, so I'm part of Texas girl. And I was raised the first part of my life out here. But at any rate, one of my first memories was being asleep in that guitar case, you know, late at night, and they'd yank me up out of there, and I'd hear this announcer, he'd say, "Well, here she is. Little Judy Carter, all the way from the Appalachian Mountains of Virginia. This is station XCRA, Via Culiacán, Mexico, and here is the San Antonio Rose." Family song that I doubt if you've ever heard. They wrote a lot of great old country classics that we sing today, my mother and my Uncle A.P. and Aunt Sarah. But this is one that I doubt if you've ever heard it, and they've mostly been singing hit songs for you today, so I'm going to sing you one that I don't think you've ever heard. I thought about this song a lot this last year because it's been kind of a rough year on us. I got a little sick, and John's been awful sick, and I guess I thought about this more than usual because the Carter family used to sing about how they felt that life would be after death, and their only concern was whether or not they were going to have 50 miles of elbow room on either side of the pearly gates to get through or not. So this song was such an unusual tune, and I'd like to share it with you. It's the Carter family's Elbow Room. 1,200 miles its length and breadth, the 4 square city stands. Its gem-set walls of jasper shine, not made by human hands. But it won't be long till I will pass, for yonder gates are fair. Gonna have 50 miles of elbow room on either side to spare. For the gates are wide on the other side, just beyond the sunset sea. They'll run just fair as we enter there. the gates are wide on the other side, where the flowers ever bloom. On the right hand, on the left hand, 50 miles of elbow room. Well, I'm sometimes cramped and I'm crowded here, and I long for elbow room. Well, I want to reach for altitude where wild flowers bloom, but it won't be long till I will pass o'er yonder gates of fair. Gonna have 50 miles of elbow room on either side to spare. For the gates are wide on the other side, just beyond the sunset sea. There'll be room to spare as we enter there. Room for you and room for me. Oh, the gates are wide on the other side, where the flowers ever bloom. On the right hand, on the left hand, 50 miles of elbow room. On the right hand, on the left hand, 50 miles of elbow room.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You're very kind to me, and I really appreciate being here. I want to sing one more song with you, and I'd like to ask all the boys on the stage if they'd mind to help me sing this, because it's kind of a song that my mother made famous a lot of years ago, and it's kind of a family song. If you know it, you're welcome to sing along with us.
I was standing by my window one cold and cloudy day when I saw that hearse come rolling for to carry my mother away. Well,
chorus with me. Y'all come sing the chorus with me? On the Build a Circle, be unbroken. Hey, let's get our daughter Cindy. Maybe
Come here,
she'll come.
Cindy.
Cindy,
This is
our
Cindy
daughter
Cash.
Cindy.
Come on, Cindy.
Cindy, come sing with us. This is one of our 6 daughters. This is Cindy. Now you sing too, okay? We're gonna make these old woods ring. Well, circle, sing.
Be unbroken by my Lord, by there's a banner waiting. Sing it up. In the sky, in the sky. Sing it one more time. Will the circle be
We're gonna wreck a train for you. This involves everybody, and if you feel that you find that you want to wreck something, go ahead and wreck it by the time we get through with this. This is a true story. Happened way back home where I was raised in the mountains. Of the wreck of the old 97 Mark.
Well, they gave him his order at Monroe, Virginia. Said, Steve, you're way behind time. This is not 38, this is old 97. Put her into Spencer on time.
And then he turned around and said, Serious victory is final. Trouble on a little more coast. And when you cross that wide mountain road, just like old 97 road.
He was going down the grade, making 90 miles an hour, when a whistle broke into a scream. He was found in the wreck with his hand on the throttle, scalded to death by the steam.
And then a telegram came from Washington Station, and this is what he said. Said every engineer, they're on and said, boys, lying down in Danville.
Off there. Give it to him. Let's give it to him. All pleasure. Oh, clap. That's hot. about Rambler. She's the bestest train on the line. You talk about Rambler. She's the bestest train on the line. That's an orange blossom special. Rolling down a seaboard line. Little pal, George Jones. Fort George Jones Park. We're really proud of him and the way he's acting lately. And, I don't think they're going to be calling him No Show Jones much longer. He's doing so great. I've always loved him. He's always been one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. And it's so good to see him doing so good now. I think George went home for the day. I'm not sure, did he? Is he here? He went home, yeah, he went home. Went to eat supper. Thank you. I hope a boy named Sue. Well, my daddy left home when I was 3. Didn't leave very much for my mom and me, except his old guitar and an empty bottle of booze. Now, I don't blame him because he run and hid, but the meanest thing my daddy ever did was before he left, he went and named me Sue. Well, he must have thought that it was quite a joke, and it got a lot of laughs from lots of folks. Seems I had to fight my whole life through. Some gal would giggle and I'd turn red, and some guy'd laugh and I'd bust his head. I'll tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Sue. But I grew up quick and I grew up mean. My fists got hard, my wits got keen. Roamed from town to town to hide my shame. But I made me a vow to the moon and stars I'd search the honky-tonks and bars to kill that man that give me that awful name. Well, it was Gatlinburg in mid-July, and I just hit town and my throat was dry. Thought I'd stop and have myself a brew at an old saloon on a street of mud, and at a table dealing stud sat the dirty mangy dog that made me Sue. I knew that snake was my own sweet dad, from a worn-out picture that my mother had. That scar on his cheek and his evil eye. He was big and bent and gray and old, and I looked at him and my blood ran cold, and I said, "My name is Sue. How do you do?" How you gonna lie? Hit him hard right between the eyes, and he went down, but to my surprise, come up with a knife and cut off a piece of my ear. Then I busted a chair right across the teeth, and we crashed through the walls and into the street, kicking and gouging in the mud and the blood and the beer. Well, I tell you, I fought tougher men, but I really can't remember when. He kicked like a mule and he bit like a crocodile. I heard him laugh and then I heard him cuss, and he reached for his gun, but I pulled mine first. He stood there looking at me and I saw him smile. And he said, "Son, this world is rough, and if a man's gonna make it, he's gotta be tough." And I knew I wouldn't be there to help you along. So I give you that name and I said goodbye, and I knew you'd have to get tough or die. It's that name that helped to make you strong. I said, now you just fought one heck of a fight, and I know you hate me and you got the right to kill me now, and I wouldn't blame you if you do. But you ought to thank me before I die for the gravel in your gut and the spit in your eye, 'cause I'm the named you Sue. What could I do? I got all choked up and I threw down my gun. I called him a pa and he called me a son. Come away with a different point of view. And I think about it now and then, every time I try and every time I win. And if I ever have a boy, I think I'll name him after you. God bless you. Thank you very much. I hear my mama calling now. Come home, son. It's supper time. Many years ago in days of childhood, I used to play till evening time would come, still winding down that old familiar pathway. I hear my mother call that setting sun. Come home, it's supper time. The shadows lengthen fast. Come home, it's supper time. We're going home at last. Some of the fondest memories of my childhood are woven around supper time. When my mother used to call from the back steps of the old home place, "Come on home now, son, it's supper time." My, how I'd love to hear that once again. But you know, time has woven for me the realization of a truth even more thrilling, that someday we'll be called together around the great supper table up there for the greatest supper time of them all, with our Lord. I can almost hear the call now, coming from the portals of heaven. Come on home, son, it's supper time. Come on home, it's supper time. Come home, it's supper time. The shadows